Well, this was truthfully one of the first songs that we worked on. We started working on music last year.
Right. I moved up here last year in Dallas.
Yeah,
I'm originally from South Texas.
Oh, okay.
So
What town? What was the address?
Social security number.
There are no towns. They just call it South Texas.
Well,
It's a region.
what was your most exported product?
Products.
Was it music? Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's call it music.
I'm originally from Charlotte, North Carolina, and I moved down here to Dallas from the Panhandle of Oklahoma, so from the middle of nowhere.
Oh, so I just spent a year in Woodward, Oklahoma.
So you guys are about like 2 hours east of us.
Oh, is that what it was? Yeah, it was.
Y'all still had trees and like foliage, I think they call
Yeah.
it. See, I got married and moved down here to Dallas, and Danny worked at the same company that my wife works at.
Yeah.
And so
help desk.
hung out and found out he did music, I did music. We were like, hey, let's do music together.
Oh, that's sweet.
Then
Get to the
This
goddamn
relationship
song
blossomed,
already.
and
Here we go. That led to playing guitar in a band. Well, not directly. It led to playing drums in a band.
Okay.
Which led me to learn the guitar from some of my bandmates. Then from there, I transitioned eventually to last year learning the piano. Then I figured I'd integrate all of them since I knew how to play piano now. A little bit of guitar and.
So you do the thing where there's the drum on your back and you got the cymbals on your knees. And
the harmonica.
Dick Van Dyke, one man
I
band.
can play the triangle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Developed by
call us all
Arthur A.
together.
Triangle. Where it's like,
That was one of our first suggestions.
Exactly. No, you remember the time we told the wives, we were like, yeah, we're going to incorporate a tambourine in this. I don't know
Yeah,
what
just
night
a
it
triangle
was.
and a tambourine.
Yeah, we're like, yeah, we came into the living room. We got this new idea for this sound. It's going to be a tambourine. And we just started playing with it, and they were like, no, don't ever. They think they hid it from us.
Yeah. They're very supportive or
It's still supportive.
significant.
so how did you two meet? Was it in jail? Was it the...
Well,
yes.
actually,
The Aryan
I don't know if
Nation
you've ever
gang?
seen
Is
that
that how-
show, go to jail. First 48. Danny actually snitched on me. Later on, we became friends when we met on that same cell block. I was going to shiv him at first. And then, I gave him a chance. He didn't drop the soap in the showers the first day.
Smart move.
Yeah, he's like, this guy's too smart for me. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to be friends with him.
I guess, can't beat him, join him. And, but no, my wife, like I said, worked at the same company that he used to work at.
Yeah, I fix computers and stuff, and she does programming.
Technical
so.
stuff. And at the time, when anybody who's working on learning an instrument or just working their way through it is always playing it. And he was playing the piano, and I started off music doing poetry, and so then it graduated into spoken word, and then I realized, hey, you can freestyle and say anything when you freestyle or you rap. There's really no
Only if
limits
you're
to
black. If you're white, there's two words you can't
there
say.
are two words. Exactly. But see, this is
Which
one
one?
place where I can do anything I want. I can be free, so to speak. My 40 ounce of the pit bull. And, but I freestyled a little bit to his piano, and he was like, hey, well, I've actually been working on a little bit of this. You should come over. And so came over one Saturday morning. His wife, Christina, as you see, she's an amazing cook. She made breakfast.
Yeah, but again, this
Yay,
was
let's go.
awesome.
We got the munchies.
And we worked on some music, and it just, after a while, you just continue to work on it and continue to work on it and fine-tune it, and you start to develop a sound. And I think that's what we're trying to work on now is mainly develop our sound.
Yeah, and we continue to play open mics, local gigs, things like that. Might hand me the guitar man for the next one. Or I don't know if we're gonna do the next one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was actually
absolutely.
going to see. I was going to see once we finish up your interview. We can make this quicker as long as you want. We were going to do a game of what's in the box, and then I was going to see if you guys would, take us out for the end of the show.
Okay, yeah. Why don't we?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
So
What's gigs you got coming up? What do you have on the
Oh,
calendar?
right now we don't have any right now. We're
Okay.
actually producing our album Metadata. So we were in a rush today, and we forgot to bring our demo. So we're gonna bring that by.
No worries.
Yeah,
We can get that
physical
taken care of.
copy. We've actually have it distributed across all digital platforms, whatever you use, Spotify, Google.
How many songs?
Track, cassette. Right now, 3 songs on the demo. Right
Okay.
now we have.
do you have a website?
Yeah,
We'll go and pull it up.
rio-dan.com. SoundCloud, everything's Facebook's on there, YouTube.
So you're a technical guy.
There you go. So with the 3 songs,
yeah,
It's
three
like,
songs.
hey, let's make music.
For the
It's like,
people,
hey,
for
what
the
about
people
a
watching the
website?
video, here's what the website. Here you go. It's rio-dan.com.
Yeah.
We often have to talk here about whether you go with an EP or whether you go with the full length record. What was the thought process in that? That's just what you had right now. You want to put it together, or
Not entirely. We have about 20, 30 songs, but
Okay.
of course they're not all gold.
Right.
So our idea was just to put a 2 or 3 song demo out, short preview that people can listen to, and
Sure.
that leaves them wanting more. We didn't want to oversaturate them.
Exactly. I
And
like that.
on
Yeah.
top of that, we're not done with the album. We're about halfway, 3/4 done.
And plus, we wanted something like right when we realized that we wanted to try to do a show, and we did a show and we started doing some open mics, and we did the Battle of the Band at the Profit Bar.
Oh, yeah.
We
Yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to make sure we had something physical before we went in there, so at least we could have something to hand to people and just to give them.
Right.
And we wanted to make sure we had like all those music platforms, just so even if we couldn't hand them something physical, they click on a link. We weren't hard to find.
Yeah.
But and those were the songs that at the time they were the most mature, and even now we've actually went through some
Yeah.
of it, and we want to redo a couple of other ones and add it to it.
Right.
But we had at first, I want to say we had like 10 songs on the original
Yeah.
that we were like, yeah, let's put these out, and then we really started listening to it and really like being judgmental with ourselves, and not saying, well, we like, no, it had to sound good, and
Right.
did we really work on this? Did we put enough into it before we put it on there? And so those are the 3 songs that we felt were really quality over just quantity.
What are some of the ideas about doing the live show? You have to do it a little bit differently to get the attention of the audience and that kind of thing. What do you guys kick around and some kind of ideas to be able to do that?
Well, there's 2 parts of it. As far as the live show, we try to make it interactive. But right now we are focusing on internet content more than anything.
That's true. They asked the audience to write their lyrics.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah,
Right
we
before the show.
talked about how there's going to be a test after this. We'd like to sit them all down.
It's like a
This is for
salad bar of
educational
music.
use. So if we cover any songs in the show, we can write it off and say
Right.
it's
Oh, that makes sense.
educational
Or it's like a
after.
choose your own adventure where everybody gets to pick where the songs
Do you want
go.
the show to end like
Right.
this? Encore anybody?
Like
But
an-
one of the main things we want to focus on when we perform is just practicing the song a ridiculous amount of times, to where when you're on stage, it's just you're natural with it, to where you don't feel like you're on stage when you're on stage.
It's
I
just
think
muscle
that's-
memory at that point.
Exactly, because I think that's one of the biggest things that gets people is when you try too hard, people really notice it, and they really want somebody who, when they see you working on your stuff, that it's real, it's human, and they want to see somebody who they can say, hey, I think I could do that. So it needs to look natural to where it's almost
It's real
like,
and human, as he says as he pulls up the 808 beats. On the
Exactly.
natural.
But I mean,
Organic.
when you
Oh, very organic. Yeah.
I do want to point out also that like if I'm in the audience, I'm not the one saying, "Oh, I could do that."
Right.
But you want to feel like, hey, if I was at this guy's house in his living room and he was just working on some music, I want to feel like I'm comfortable in that type of setting.
Yeah,
No
now
one
that I
wants
could
to
do.
really feel like you're a part of a crowd. You want to feel like you could have a beer with that guy you're right next to him.
Right. And we like to include improvisation on some of our shows and some of our songs, so we can always include the context of what we're playing in,
Right.
the venue, the show. That's always cool to do on the spot. Yeah.
And when you have it practiced, when you get a chance to improv it, it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
perfect. We can do that now. We can work it in here. We have some extra time. Let's throw some of this in there.
Well, it's like I heard, improv classes, but I've heard the same theory from them as I do from my friends that play jazz. Is it's not completely impromptu. You're playing at home and you come up with a riff you like. You take that and you stick it in your back pocket. And you're like, oh, yeah. And then you have another riff you like, and it's just then you take those riffs that you don't have to think about what you're doing. You put them in a different order or whatever sounds appropriate for that song. And so it's not completely 100%.
Right.
Just like with comedy, in improv, they'll tell you, come up with scenarios that you like or a direction that you're going to go. If somebody puts you here, you can go there. And that way you have that. So it's not that it's all improv. It's more like almost modular where you can change out parts to always make it unique. And I always thought that was kind of cool because that was always intimidating to like, oh, I got to just get up and make up something right then.
No, not necessarily.
And to know that you don't have to do that. It's more mixing things already work. I think that's kind of a cool idea.
Right. If you know how to play in key, if you got samples, then you can pretty much go with it.
Yeah,
you know?
like if it's in the key of C, I can just run my finger up and down the white notes back and forth. I'm like, it's all in key. It's good.
You guys get it.